Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, guys? I hope that you're great. Inshallah, bismillah, today we are going to go through a new unit, which is Unit 6, inshallah, and it's under the title of What's the Real Story? So, as you know, that we are going just to talk about some stories, okay? How can we narrate stories? How can we tell stories? And how can exactly we understand the stories? So it's gonna be just mainly tackling different stories from different events, okay, in different sections as well. Okay, so are you ready to go for lesson 8? So let's go for it. So guys, here, as you see that we have 3 headlines, like 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C. And those 3 headlines for 3 different stories. Okay, so when we are going just to start any story, that we should have a headline that's tracking us or just directing us just to go through this story, and we're expecting what's coming next. So here I need you to read those 3 headlines because we are going to go through 3 articles or 3 stories, and I need you to think to try to match this headline with this story. Okay, so this is going to be the first task here. So let's go right now. Cell phone opens car door. This is the first headline. Second one, sea lion paints for her supper. Okay. And here the third one, surfing dog upstages rivals. Okay, so let me just give you the clues or the difficult words in those headlines to go on with the stories. So here, this is really clear. Cell phone opens car door. Let's see how. Sea lion. Sea lion, this is an animal. I need you right now, guys, to just to hold your phone and to Google it. The sea lion, okay? This is an animal, not a lion. It's not a lion at all. It's just like something you can see it in Magic Land. You know Magic Land? So you can just go and search about this animal to try to Google it. And then paints for her supper. This is for this animal because it's like a feminine animal, and the supper, it's like the last meal of the day, okay, like the dinner. And here, surfing dog upstages rivals. Surfing dog, you know the surfing, okay? So surfing is it's a sport, exactly. So like, for example, riding the waves. And upstages, this is like a preposition, like at or to or towards the rivals. Rivals, it's like a competition, okay, or a challenging activity. Okay, so let's move forward to the articles and vocabulary to see how can exactly we deal with matching those together. So here, guys, let's go for those clues or those most important vocabulary in the 3 articles they are following. So here the first one is the main attraction. Main attraction, for example, main attraction for me, or just like it's got my attention. So the main attraction can be a person, can be a thing, or an event that everyone wants to see. Like, for example, let me give you like very famous example. When I say, for example, coronavirus is the main attraction for everyone right now. So this is, the event. Caught on, okay, which means to catch. This is the third form of the verb catch on, which means to understand it or to learn it quickly. Canvas, this is a piece of cloth on the frame used for painting, okay, a piece of cloth on a frame that used for painting. Ignition, this is the place where a car key is inserted to start the car. You know that when you just put the key in order just to start the car, so we call this place, it's ignition. Spare means extra. Like, for example, if you have a spare time, that means you have extra time or free time. Okay, so now let's go for the 3 articles to read them together, and then I'll leave you to try to guess which headline matching with which article. So here, guys, you have the 3 articles, okay, as we mentioned before. And I just have mentioned in the second slide that we have 3 headlines. And after also we've discussed the 3 or the many vocabulary are related to those 3 articles, I need you just to pause the video for just maybe 5-7 minutes and to read every one of those articles, okay, and then go back to the 3 headlines and try to match them. Okay, so this is the first task. I need you to read it. Okay, and I think, okay, that there is no, or there aren't any difficult words you are going to face, because I already tried hard to guess with you the meaning of all the hard words. So here that you have California sea lion, okay, at the Pittsburgh Zoo has been amazing visitors by painting for her supper. So what do you think, which headline? As we mentioned before, try to go back and search. A shopper in Michigan saved time and money after her husband helped her to unlock her car from 10 miles away. So here I need you, from the 2 lines, I think that you got it. Here the police have been called to surfing contest in Brazil because a dog has been stealing all the attention. So stealing the attention, as we said, this is to get all the attention or to attract all the people's attention, maybe a person, maybe a thing, or maybe an event. So I need you to pause and to try to go back and to try to match them together. After you finish matching the headlines with those articles, I need you to go for the second, which is, after you read it, you are going to go for the second task, which is you guess which story is not true, because there is a story is not true. What do you think? The one that's related to the phone, or the one which is related to the animal, or the one which is related to the rivals, which is related to the surfing dog? So which one? So I need you, after reading, after comprehension, after just getting and matching the headlines together, okay? And guys, while reading, try to go for a dictionary and to try to get the new words for you and to try to listen for them again to improve your pronunciation. So guys, it's not for the sake of reading, for the sake of answering some questions. No, it's related to your practicing the language, because as you stay at home and there is no just a way for us to communicate or just to correct the mistakes, so I need you hard to try to go for a dictionary, to get those new words, to listen for them, to read by linking those words together, and so on. Okay, so you have here 2 tasks to do. First one is to read the stories and match them with those headlines, and then you guess which story of those is not true, which means it's a false story or it's fake. So afterwards, I'm just gonna give you the answers, but I know we finish. And now let's go for the piece of grammar that we have in this unit. So guys, as you know that we have tackled and we have talked and we have discussed together many things. I mean in the previous years, not only this year or this term. I mean everything in English is also correlated to each other, or just like a chain, like a group. They are just like, you take English as a language, not as a syllabus or units to study, and you leave them. So maybe in the second year, in the second score that you've got or you've studied the present perfect and the past simple for sure. But the idea here is how can I use them? As we mentioned before, that today we are going to talk about stories. And in order to narrate or to tell a story, somehow you need to use the order of the different tenses, because when you say a story, you have like a sequence, or just you have like events, and you should order them, or you put them in a sequence, like by order. Which one happened first? Which one happened second? Which one, and so on. Which one in the present? Which one in the past? And which one it will happen? Okay, so in order to be like ordered, when you narrate your story, you should just try to use different tenses. And here today, inshallah, we're going to go together to get the difference between the present perfect and the simple past. So guys, here, let me just ask you a question. If I'm asking you just to tell me what the difference between present perfect and simple past, what you're gonna say? I'm sure that I'm not gonna listen to your answers. It's like it's a clear, but I need you just to think what the difference before just looking to this one. When you hear the word simple past, so what comes into your mind? Yeah, an action, happened in the past, okay, in a specific time, like yesterday at 9 p.m. Like for example, last year, like in 1990, like for example, 10 years ago. But when it comes to the present perfect, okay, you have events that happened recently. What does it mean recently, or recent events? Huh? Like it happened, okay, like in a time it's very close to the present. Like for example, if we're going to say this is the present, this dot is the present, and all this is a line, okay? So imagine, guys, this is a line, and this dot is the present. Here is the present time, and this is the future, and this is the past. If I'm just gonna say this event is happened here under the V letter, so here what you're gonna say, it's an recent event. Why? Because it happened before the present, very close to the present, okay? But it doesn't have a specific time or reference. What does it mean, specific time or reference? Like I don't know exactly when it happened. Like for example, maybe yesterday or today in morning, whatever it is. So I don't know. So as long as that I don't know the specific time or the reference for this event or action that happened, I'm just gonna use the present perfect. As long as that I know the reference and the specific time for this event that I report to you or I narrate to you, that I'm gonna use the simple past. And guys, as you know that in the present perfect, make sure about the usage that you have has with he, she, and it, okay? And the plus past participle, the third form of the verb, and you have I, we, you, they, plus have, and then you have plus past participle as well. So here, the example is, I've locked my keys in the car. I've locked my keys in the car. So here, what do you think? So someone forgot his keys in the car. He mentioned time? No, he didn't mention. Does he mention any reference to this time? Like for example, in morning, for example, today, anything? No. So as long as I do not mention the time or the reference, I'm just gonna use the present perfect, I've locked, okay? Which means I forgot my keys in the car and I locked it. So far so good? Well, then for the simple past, as we said, that with a specific time that I know exactly when it happened and with a reference. So here, after a day at the mall, the woman went out to her car. So here, after a day at the mall, the woman, so here, after a day. So here, that it's specific or a reference for the time that the action happened and went out. This is a simple past because the third form of go, went, is gone. And here, I started teaching her to paint last year. I started teaching her to paint last year. So here, last year, specific time related to this action. So again, in order just to wrap up, the difference between present simple, present perfect, and the simple past is, simple past is for specific time that I know exactly when it happened. Present perfect, this is not with a specific time or reference. It doesn't relate to a specific time, but it's a recent events that happened or I reported them, but I don't know exactly when. Okay, so far so good. Now let's move to some to answer them together. So here, as you see that, this is knows a story, okay, and it has a sequence of events or just an ordering of events. Here, he's just giving you the verbs between the brackets, okay, and he's asking you to put them in the correct tense, either to be present perfect or to be past simple. So here, guys, I'm just gonna give you the clue as well and leave you to go and to answer and to exercise and as well to test yourself and your abilities, your understanding and everything. So here, this is a story. He's telling you that a group of thieves, like people, they are just taking anything illegal, has stolen the dragon's eye ruby. Ruby, this is this kind of diamonds. We call this thing is ruby from the Grand Gallery. So dot. Does he mention when exactly that happened? Nope. So for this reason he mentioned has stolen, because he didn't mention any specific time for it. Last night, specific time, about 1 a.m. The alarm, the alarm what? Has gone off or went off? Exactly, went off, because here I have the specific time, last night, and reference. So here we go, guys. I will leave you just to try to think together, to try to answer, to try to guess, to try to test your abilities and your understanding for finishing up this story by adding or by forming the correct verb in the correct or the relevant tense for this story. Okay? And so guys, please don't go for the key answers as long as you haven't finished with the understanding, with just getting the whole idea in general. And I wish for you all the best. I have finished for today. And I need you just to try to study hard as much as you can. Study the language, not the syllabus. I need you just to try to practice, because language is like a plant. You just to try to water it, or you should, or you must water it every day in order just to grow up and to be like something that you are proud of it. So try hard, guys, to talk to yourself even, okay, and record for yourself every day, even if you're reading just to you got a new word. Try to teach yourself the new word in different way, or in your way that you understand it. Okay, and I hope that inshallah to be in the best mood ever, and I wish for you all the best. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.